What's up everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna be working on this 2005 Volkswagen Beetle. This is a 1.8 turbo automatic and I'm gonna be doing a tune-up to it. So I'm gonna be replacing these three filters. I got the air filter, cabin filter, and the oil filter. I'm also gonna be doing the spark plugs and I'm gonna be changing the oil. I'm pretty sure other models like the 2.0 might be similar. I'm not 100% sure, but it's pretty much the same concept. So I'm gonna start off by removing this cover. I'm just gonna put it on the side. I got my spark plugs down here, so I'm gonna have to remove all these vacuum hoses on top. And I got my air filter right here, and the oil filter should be underneath. And my cabin filter, I don't know if on this car, I gotta double check, but some cars have it down here, other cars have it inside of the car. So I'm gonna double check on that, but I'm gonna start off with the air filter. So I'm gonna unbolt the housing. There's a couple of screws back here, so I'm gonna undo those screws and I'm gonna remove the housing. I'm just gonna remove the filter and I'm gonna drop the other one in there. So let me go ahead and take care of that first. Okay, so I got my two Phillips screws right here and the second one is down there. Now I should be able to remove the upper half of the housing. So I had to disconnect this air pump hose after all. I just disconnected and I'm just gonna put it to the side, and I got my air filter right here. So I'm gonna remove the air filter. So here's the old one, and I'm gonna go ahead and replace it with a new one. I got my new one in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back together. Okay, so that'll take care of the air filter. Now I'm gonna move on to the cabin filter. For that, I'm gonna have to go inside of the car and I'm gonna grab a Torx. I'm gonna grab a T20 because I'm gonna need it to remove a couple of bolts. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the T20 and go inside of the car. Okay, so I'm inside of the car. I'm on the passenger seat. So I had to remove this plastic and this plastic, and then there's gonna be another cover. I have to remove the other cover, and then I'll have access to the cabin filter. So I'm gonna start off by removing this plastic first, and all you have to do is kind of push it forward or push it away from you. So you just push it forward and it comes right off. So I'm just gonna put it on the side. Now I'm gonna have three Torx. So I got one right here, one right here, and one right here. I'm gonna remove those and I'm gonna remove this plastic. I already removed the screws, and here's my panel. I'm gonna disconnect the speaker and the tweeter, and I'm just gonna put this to the side. So I got my two panels on the side. Now I'm gonna remove this third panel. So this panel has 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's like a fifth one right here, so next to this one. And I think that should be it. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove those 5 and I should be able to see my cabin filter. Okay, so I got this other cover off, and honestly it's not easy to remove it. The best way to remove it is by lifting it up all around, because it's kind of glued on here. So you lift it up and then you just slide it to that side, and it feels like it's gonna break, but it doesn't break. So just be careful, don't break it. And here's my cabin filter. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the filter, and I think it has like some tabs right here and then right here. So you gotta push the tabs back and it'll release the filter. So there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and remove it completely, and I'm gonna replace it with the other one. All right, so there's the old one. Here's my new one. So you just kind of like slide it in here. There it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this. This whole plastic comes off, and that's like a retainer for the new filter. But when you're taking it off, it feels like it's gonna break. So all you gotta do is you just gotta pull it towards you, and it doesn't break. But be careful because it's plastic. If you force it too much, it will break, so be careful. Now I'm gonna go ahead and install mine, and I'm gonna bolt on the rest of the panels. Okay, so there it is. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the other panel back on. I'm almost done. I just gotta put this plastic back on, and that's pretty much it. So that's it. So now I'm gonna go back to the engine. Now I'm gonna do my oil change. I'm gonna remove my oil cap so that I'm able to drain the oil a lot faster, and I'm gonna get the car up in the air because the rest of the process is gonna be under the car. Okay, I'm gonna start by removing this cover. So there's 4 bolts around it. I'm gonna take the cover off, and I should be able to see the oil filter. Okay, so there's my oil filter, and I'm able to move this hose away. I'm gonna go ahead and remove my oil filter. Sometimes you're able to remove it by hand, other times you have to use a tool. I'm gonna see if I'm able to remove it by hand because I removed it yesterday and it shouldn't have any oil. Okay, so here's my filter, and it doesn't have any oil because yesterday I did another video on how to replace a gasket on the oil cooler. So I drained the oil already on the filter, but usually when you take it off, it's gonna drip a lot of oil. Now, if you're not able to remove it by hand, they have these tools right here. So this tool makes it a lot easier to remove the filter, and honestly I use it a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and install my new filter. I'm gonna be using this STP, and I'm gonna put grease around the seal so that it doesn't get stuck when I have to take it off again. So I put grease around the seal. I'm gonna go ahead and install it now. So these ones, you tighten them by hand. I wouldn't recommend using the tool because if you do, you're not gonna be able to take it off for the next oil change. So that's it. Now I'm gonna be draining the oil, and I got my drain plug right here. So this is a nail-in. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a nail-in. I'm also gonna grab an oil pan so that I can catch all the oil. All right, so I removed my drain plug and I'm draining the oil right now. I'm just gonna let it drain all the way. This is not the smartest thing to do, but I have nothing else right now, so I'm just gonna let it drain the way it is for now. I just installed my drain plug. Here's my dirty oil. I'm gonna move this to the side, and I'm gonna add the new oil right now. I'm gonna be using the Mobile. This is a synthetic. This is a 1040. The car has 113,000 miles, and the reason why I'm going synthetic is because it's turbocharged, so it produces a little bit more heat, and I don't want the oil to break down faster. I want the oil to last a little longer than the conventional oil. I'm gonna go ahead and put the plastic back on, and I'm gonna bring the car down because all I have to do now is add oil and replace the spark plugs. All right guys, so this motor takes 4.4 quarts of oil, but since I removed the housing and the oil cooler, I'm gonna go ahead and add all 5 quarts. I'm gonna turn it on, then I'm gonna check the level, but before I do that, last thing I want to do is replace the spark plugs. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start removing the spark plugs. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the spark plugs, and before I even take these off, I'm gonna go ahead and gap my spark plugs. I got them over here. So I'm gonna be using Denso. I think on German cars you want to use Bosch, but I'm so used to using Denso or NGKs. I mean, this is a really good spark plug, so I'm gonna go with the Densos. I'm gonna go ahead and gap each one. I'm not sure about the specs on this car, but I'm gonna gap them anywhere between 32 and 34 thousandths because this is a turbo car. So the smaller the gap, the better. You don't want to go too small either, but in my case, I'm gonna go with 32 thousandths. I just checked all of the plugs and they're already set at 32 thousandths, so I don't have to do anything. And by the way, I'm gonna use double platinum. They're double platinum. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start taking everything off. So I'm not gonna disconnect any hose. I'm just gonna remove this little vacuum tank and I'm just gonna move everything to the side. I'm gonna try not to mess with any vacuum hoses if I don't have to. So this is how I'm gonna take this off. There's one bolt right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that bolt off, and this becomes loose, so you can move this to the side. Now there's another bolt right here. I already took it off, so I'm just gonna remove that bolt. There's another one on this side. I already took it off as well. Now this bracket right here, it has 2 bolts as well, one on this side and the other one on the other side. I already took them off. It's gonna be these 2 right here. So now I'm gonna be able to remove everything, and in reality I don't have to remove it. I could just move it to the side and I have enough room to work on the spark plugs. So I'm gonna hold this somehow, and I'm just gonna remove the coils and the spark plugs. Okay, so I just removed the bracket, and the rest of the stuff I just pushed it back, and I have enough access to get to the spark plugs. So I'm gonna disconnect all of them. I'm gonna remove the coils, and I'm gonna remove the spark plugs as well. I was trying to be careful when disconnecting them, but these connectors are all toast, and I'm assuming it has to do with the heat. So all of them broke. I mean, this one's broke a lot worse than the last 2. So the last 2, the clips are broken from the inside. So these are the clips, and honestly, like they're pretty much toast because of the heat. So nothing I could do. I mean, the only thing I can do about it is replace the connectors, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that later on. Okay, so I just removed my coils and my spark plugs. Let me show you guys the spark plugs. So here's the spark plugs, and apparently they're the original. So you're able to see that these are they're NGKs and Volkswagen. So I don't know if they ever change them or not, but I'm gonna go ahead and replace them. And I noticed that one of them, this one right here, is soaked in oil. So this means that I'm gonna have to do the valve cover gasket, and I already bought one. I have it right here. So I already have a valve cover gasket, but I'm gonna do that one in another video. I'm not gonna do it right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and install the new spark plugs. I already installed my coils and my spark plugs. Don't forget to put anti-seize on the spark plugs. That way you don't have a problem removing them next time. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of the stuff on. Here's my bracket. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my bracket back on. And before I bolt this on, I'm gonna put this one on. This one goes on the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish putting everything on, and that should be it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna make sure everything is connected. All the hoses are where they're supposed to be. Nothing got disconnected by mistake. I mean, everything looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the cover on. And that's it. I'm pretty much done with my tune-up. So now I'm gonna go ahead and turn the car on. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my key. I got my key right here. So let's go ahead and turn it on and see what it does. It started right up. I mean, sounds pretty good. It had a misfire before. It had a couple of hoses that were torn, and also the spark plugs, one of them had a bunch of oil. So I'm gonna let it warm up, but I think that's gonna be it. I just gotta let it warm up and see what it does. Take it outside, drive it. I'm pretty much done with the tune-up. That's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. If you guys have any comments, let me know. For the next video, I'm gonna be doing the valve cover. I still gotta do the timing belt, and I wanna do the rear main seal. So I still got a couple of videos that I'm gonna do on this car, but I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.